Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another evening of incredible racing. We find ourselves at round 15 sprint qualifying for, of course, Mexico. I gotta say, pretty interesting track. We'll see how the drivers handle themselves. But if we are referring to the championship itself, things are a little more settled. Not to say completely finished, but I'm sure there is somebody that is going to give us a lot of information about that. I have the pleasure of being accompanied once more by the one and only, my man, the Taz. Taz, how you doing, Bubba?
I'm doing very, very well. Thank you, Tony, for that great introduction there. And yeah, as you were saying, the Drivers' Championship has been wrapped up by Reg Meister. He has took the title for Season 3 in Division 1, and it's an absolute honour to be able to say that again for Reg, with racing with him in other places and commentating on him in a different place where he won the title there. So massive, massive GGs to Reg on taking that title. McLaren also, I think, have absolutely wrapped up the constructors, and they have took that victory there. So the battles now are mainly for P2 and 3 in both the Drivers' Championship and the Constructors' Championship. But I feel we're definitely going to have a good race. Lou Pasture has been on an absolutely amazing run lately, taking 3 race wins. Could he go for that 4th one this evening? It's going to be a great one to watch. We've got a sprint and the main race coming your way this evening, and we hope you are all ready for that one. But yeah, it's going to be a good one this evening, Tony, going round the, I'll try and say it, the Hernandez Rodriguez circuit in Mexico, a track that is, the straight is the main part. I think turns 1 and 2 and 3, we could see a lot of action, a lot of overtakes being done on that main straight. If the drivers get a good exit out of that corner, we could definitely see some heavy battles moving into there. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. Who can take that P2 in the championship? It's very, very close. I think Trappy kind of gave it away last week with not showing up for the race, kind of handed Reg the title. So Trappy now defending that P2 in the Drivers' Championship.
Well, hey, we'll see how that goes. We're about to move into the sprint qualifying race, ladies and gentlemen. It's good to put my camera on and for you to see how fat I am. But apart from that fact, as my man said, Hernandez Rodriguez track, located in down south of Mexico. Some people say I'm Mexican. I'm not. I'm Spanish. Well, don't play the race card.
Don't get it twisted.
Because I'll come to your house and do some. I'll get you, Baba. Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to move into the racing itself. As we said, sprint race coming up. And I'm going to give you a little bit of how we're going to do this, since Taz has recently joined the ranks here at LSR, becoming a broadcaster the same way I am for the rest of championships on ACC and iRacing. Well, we're going to do this. On the sprint race, I'll take over the broadcasting. Of course, he will be telling us some great data as per usual with him, and we'll turn the tables on the main race. I think he deserves a spotlight. He knows what he's doing. He knows what he's saying. He has a lot more experience than me on the F1 game, and surely he's going to give us some great insight as well. I hope everybody is ready in the chat. Welcome, Spencer, Chris, George, everybody. Strap on, because we're about to rock and roll. So let's get into the session itself. Here you have the simulator. Let's see how we do. Let me quickly move the SimGrid logo. There you go. And now we are waiting for a couple drivers to load. Rick Meister, our champion, yet to load as well. And once he does, the red lights will turn green. If I'm not mistaken, we're going to have 36 laps on the main race. The sprint shall be around 10, 12. We'll see how the drivers handle the pressure, because let me tell you, sprint races, we know drivers do not hesitate to make moves, and sometimes they might be a little forced, but hey, it's now time to find out what's going to happen. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready in just a few short seconds. The first of two races will begin. And Taz, give me a quick shout out. Who do you think is going to take the sprint?
Pasture's really shown some great pace since joining LSR, so my vote would be to go with him. Pro Stevens did give him a good battle, but that was wet racing conditions last time out in Monza. I feel Louis Pasteur, after driving with him for so long now elsewhere, I feel like he's got a good opportunity to take 4 race wins. So my money would go with Louis Pasteur this evening and taking the sprint and the main feature. So hopefully, come on, Lou Pasture, as we've got Original Wolf in the chat saying let's go. Got 9 people watching along. If you haven't already, make sure you smash that follow button, hit the notification, and subscribe.
Well, here we go.
The race.
The red lights, come on, and the green flag is out. Desdak, the one to lead the grid, heading towards turn number 1. It's a great exit from Jorge Else. We might get some 3-wide action as we approach the corner. This could be deadly. As you can see, very good weather at the moment, being 3-wide all over the place. And the Ferrari of Helvius Gavin actually manages to stay ahead. What a move from Ryan McLean. Payne up front. Tony's excitement scared the kid. Payne is grandmaster. Well, hey, I'm making you some good business. See, now you can joke with him. Trappy. Oh my God, that is not good from Trappy. Not at all. What a dive bomb. Usually that should be a penalty because that was just not right. Going that hard on the corner. Let's head on with Step Body. One of the McLarens, the champions, on the manufacturer standings. How my street heard it. Hey, Bubba, that's what I'm here for. For you to hear me and for you to have fun. Step Body closing into Helvius Gavines. And of course, this last sector, deadly. Especially this right-hander that we are about to approach the wall. Way closer than it seems to be. And as we have completed the first lap without, I think, no deaths. That's pretty good.
No deaths at all. Going really well. The lads, Ryan McLean, up into P1. Looking like he's going to take this one. But as we said, Blue Patch is showing some great pace. And he's already up into P5.
What a move there from Step Body. That is spectacular move on the inside. And Lucas Stevens and a Lou. Already going past, and Stevens is just going to take advantage. Helvius loses 3 in one corner. Unfortunately, not the way he was hoping to get it done. But of course, there's still plenty of racing to go. Let's quickly check on Reg Maestra, who finds himself in a little bit of a scruffle between the 7 drivers. The pack being led by HDL Trappy, who we saw had a very bad move on Ryan Harris. Here you have Sil approaching the Mercedes. Very different lines, and they still manage to work. We'll find out. The Aston Martin doesn't want to think about it twice and goes for the move. Gets it done, and quickly gets it on back with Step Body, because look at him. He's catching Lou, even though he just made the move on him. He is starting to push heavy. Look at the energy bar. That is empty already, for the love of God. That is just as empty as it can be. Side by side, Trappy is out of the race.
Retired in the pits there, Tony. He retired in the pit lane. Think he picked up damage in the sector 3 through going side by side, and has now abandoned this race in hope to gain some positions up in the main race.
Well, let's see. Danzak already. Wow, that's quick. That is quick to get yourself a 3-second penalty for off tracks. Not even 4 laps in. This does worm for sure. Here you have Step Body catching and Stevens and Lou. Stevens just make the move a couple quarters behind. Of course, thank you very much to the 12 viewers we got on the broadcast. Hopefully you can hear Tess a little better now. Grizzly Bean with another 3. Shout out Division 2 drivers on track. Indeed, we got them all mixed up. And let me tell you, Taz, next season is looking hot.
Hopefully we can get a few more drivers in. I know that there's a few drivers in the league that I co-own that may be looking for a Thursday drive. So lads, if you want to get involved in LSR, make sure you get in that Discord link and join this amazing league that is absolutely going places. So make sure you get on that train and join LSR for Division 3, Season 4, sorry, Division 3, Season 4, and help them push on and bring that more pace and more patient driving into LSR. But back to the action with Tony.
Well, I gotta tell you, Taz, not a lot of action. Just training starting to build up, but we're not seeing too many attempts to go through. And indeed, I was just gonna say that Spencer Howard, indeed, we do not only do F1, we are mostly focused on ACC and iRacing, but seeing how well the F1 is doing it, we're gonna have more content coming through. But indeed, we got the midweek league running every Wednesday. Of course, our biggest sponsor today, SimLab, sponsoring us. Thank you very much to the Netherlands boys, the Dutchies at SimLab, for giving us the amazing opportunity of having them side by side with one of the best ACC championships in the world of sim racing. McLean and Jorge Rios side by side as we approach turn number 1. It looks like McLean is going to have the upper hand here, easily going through DRS. ERS deployed, and that is game over. We'll find out if Jorge Rios could bring it back, but now the gaps have spread through, and it's all about that DRS. The song used to go, it's all about that bass. No, baby. It's all about ERS and DRS here in the F1. And let me tell you, Lou, as you mentioned before, he's been showing up these last 3-4 races. And today, he's making this not an exception. Great racing so far. Good comeback drive, considering how far down he went, and now it's time to get to the lead. Will he manage to do so, Taz?
I really do think he can pull this off. He's showing some great pace after making some great moves coming through the pack. Pro Stevens managed to get him under DRS on lap 4, but I feel this is Lou Pasture's time now to go on the attack and get that position back from Pro Stevens and maybe get right on the back of Jorge. Here he goes down the main straight now at the Hernandez Rodriguez track, and he's I'm trying to put the twang in it, Tony. I'm trying to put it in.
I love it.
Pro Stevens pulls out and he's going for it on Jorge, the side by side into turn 1. Who's going to come out on top? Pro Stevens breaks that little bit later. I feel the medium compounder tires are working a lot better at this moment in time. Them softs are going to die off come the end of this race, and we could see the soft runners being overtaken quite easily. But we've got Lou Pasture also going on the attack against Jorge. Jorge losing 2 positions, it could be 3. Steadbody making a move on their mediums as well, and Steadbody pushes his way through.
Oh, no.
As Jorge goes off the track under traction there, just got his foot down a bit too hard there, and now is dropping positions. Reg is dropping all the way back to P8. He tucks in behind Reg. Hopefully he can gain a few positions back, but as I said, those soft tyres will drop off, and those mediums are going to become the faster tyre as we move on into this race.
And there you have the battle for the lead. Unfortunate to see Jorge losing the car. Great side-by-side action. That exit is sublime from Steadbody, and he might be able to find a move here. Another 3-second penalty brought to Dan Stack Picasso, the newest admin in the LSR team. Welcome him dearly in the chat. Unfortunately for the sprint race, hasn't done too well. He has retired the car. There you see Steadbody was trying to go for the switcheroo, but Lou Pasture said a little bit of hell no to the no.
Going on the attack. He's good. Can Lou Pasture? He's took P2 now, and this is going to be the battle that we need to watch. The battle was there last week in Monza between Lou Pasture and Pro Stevens. This week, who's going to come out on top in this little battle? Is Lou Pasture got the pace to take that P1 opinion from Pro Stevens? Pro Stevens so far looks like he's got this one quite settled. He seems settled down now into the track as we see Ryan McLean there picking up a 3-second time penalty. Multiple track limits broken there from him and picks up that 3-second time penalty. But here is the battle now between Pro Stevens and Lou Pastiu as they head into the final few corners. Lou Pastiu will have the DRS, which is massive in Mexico. You get a double dose of it. You get it down the main straight, and then you get it after turn 3. So Lou Pastiu could definitely move up into P1. He just needs to get closer. So here we go from Lou Pastiu. Is he going to get the move done into turn 1? He just looks a bit too far back, or is he playing the patient game and looking to do it in the next sector? As he has a bit of a, looks like a bit of a drift there into turn 1, but settles the car pretty nicely and gets right onto the back of Pro Stevens. This could be the time to go for it from Lou Pastiu, but he just tucks in. Yeah, pulls out a bit so he's not in the slipstream. Looks like he's playing the patient one here, Tony.
Indeed, right now he's just waiting. The good thing for Stevens is he's pretty equal on battery left, around 30-35%. So Stevens could cover himself up from a big attack from Lou. But of course, it all comes down to the most important thing on this track: corner exits, especially on this third sector. That penultimate corner sets the pace until turn number 1. I'm referring to this particular corner we're about to go on. Exactly. We need to maximize the exit here, and we have a yellow flag. I think that has been Grizzly Bean. Indeed, there you have him. It has having a little bit of a boo-boo. Let's quickly
That's
move
his
back.
first outing. It's a bit unfortunate for him, and it's only on his debut race here at LSR. Just getting into a bit of contact, and has now dropped down to P11. Hopefully he can build up some more positions, but he is out of DRS now, and that is the pain that you suffer around any track. Once you are out of that DRS zone, it is so hard to get that time back, even if you're catching in the other sectors. As soon as you hit that DRS zone, that time is just stripped away from you if the car in front does have the DRS. But Jorge picks up a 3-second time penalty there. Unfortunately, that's going to really affect his race, but the guys around him do also have those 3-second time penalties. So as we said before, the soft compounder tyres are dropping off now, and we're seeing the medium runners kind of run away with this one. Steadbody is up in P3 and he's looking to take that fight to Pro Stevens. Can he get involved? Would this enable Lou to have a little bit of a defense when it comes to Pro Stevens going on the attack? But Lou Pastiu, if anything, if you're going to play it smart, you just surrender it, the position, and wait for it on the last lap. That is where you need that DRS on that last lap, so you can build that advantage. But McLean still doing well, even though he's got a 3-second time penalty in at P4. And Harris again this week, kind of in a lonely race.
Look at that. Sorry to interrupt you. That is just crazy. That was without using ERS. 7/10 he made up. Oh my God, that's ridiculous. What is the power of DRS? He made up 7/10 and actually managed to make the move. The pass, you couldn't do anything, and I think, Taz, sorry for interrupting you. This is just going to be a trade-off every single DRS zone. That is just going to be into the end of the loop.
DRS is very, very heavy around Mexico. Even, as you said there, that 7/10 gap can easily be took out, especially with that long straight. You've got a long run down to turn 1. So even if you're within 7, 8 tenths, you can definitely end up going side by side with the car that's in front. And then you've definitely got the DRS for the next DRS zone. So, I mean, you're just gaining an advantage, but we'll see from Lou Pastiu here, he will get Pro Stevens a lot quicker than Steven got him with him being so close. He's only half a second back. Steadbody's doing an absolutely stellar job for Team McLaren so far, keeping it up in P3, managing to stay on the back of Lou Pastiu. So Steadbody really doing a great job for McLaren.
Here we have it, last 2 laps. Look at the ridiculousness of DRS. Steadbody's going to try to get himself in the bottle. Well, that's a little bit of a push up there from Lou Pastiu. I don't know if you should give the position back. There was a lot of wheel contact there between these two. Of course, Stevens out of DRS is going to suffer to defend this one. Looks like Steadbody's going to be patient, going to sacrifice the chicane to now get a clearer view of what he can do in the last lap of the sprint race. We're about to find out. Something that really worries me for the main race is we got 6 people with penalties, 2 retirements, and that is only being 12 laps, around a third of what we're actually going to run. Well, just to say it, another 3-second penalty is added to Danzak. Look at the launch from the McLaren from stead body. That is spectacular. And can he do something? Because right now, ladies and gentlemen, we are entering the last lap of the sprint. Stead body, unfortunately, not the exit he was hoping to get. Still, the DRS is going to do its job, and it's time to empty the energy bottle. Drink it, sip it through. Every single bit of power left on the car has to be dropped. And now, there you see, Lou having great defensive lines. Stevens waiting for the right moment. Will it be this one? Will he have to commit at the last stage of the race? There you see Lou covering the inside line. Stevens is going to try to fancy. It's on the outside, and it's actually going to make it work. Unbelievable move. Stevens with one of the best moves we're going to see in the whole race. That is an incredible, ladies and gentlemen. And he manages to stay in the lead, but will it be for long? No! I cannot believe it. He gets a 3-second penalty with just half a lap to go. Yes, he did an incredible move. Step body with another 3. And as the same as he did incredibly well, he just shot himself in the foot. Right now, Lou in a sandwich. How is this going to go? Because even though he doesn't have the penalty, he's launching it to Pro Stevens. For the love of God, just be patient. You got the victory. No need to risk it. We're about to cross the finish line. Lou is going to take the checker first. Stevens moves to second. Step body on third. What a last lap.
That was an absolutely stellar last lap. Pro Stevens really pushing for that race win, but pushed it just that little bit too hard, picking up that 3-second time penalty. That is going to be a mistake that he lives to probably regret. Hopefully it doesn't cost him in the main race. I mean, starting from P2, you're going to be under pressure as well as Lou, especially if people get a good launch in behind you. But some great racing there shown from the Division 1 drivers, especially Pro Stevens and Lou Pasture, going for the moves when they needed to, gaining some great positions as they started a bit further back down the grid and made up a lot of places. So absolutely great race there. Obviously we had a bit of contact and people picked up some time penalties, but Tony, that sprint was absolutely brilliant, mate.
It was stellar, would be the way to describe it. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick break because we're about to move into the big one. The main race about to start. We'll see you in just a few short moments.
Hello and welcome back to the main feature. We have here 36 laps going around the Hernandez Rodriguez circuit in Mexico. Who's going to come out on top? People, get your votes in the chat now. Do you think Lou Pasture can take his 4th I'll start that again. His 4th race win here at LSR, or do you feel Pro Stevens has got it in hand? He did make that tiny mistake on that last lap. Obviously, he made a few more to pick up that 3-second time penalty, but it's going to be some great racing from both of them. As we seen in Monza last week, they really did trade positions and really did go for it, so hopefully they could put a show on this evening like they did last Thursday around Monza. But I mean, Reg is kind of taking it easy, I feel, in this one. You know, the championship is really wrapped up for him, so he doesn't really have to fight. But I'm sure that Reg will go for every position that he can here in this race to show that that championship that he's won wasn't just by fluke. It was definitely by the effort that he's put in all season and the driving ability that he does have. He's known as Mr. Consistency in other places, doesn't really tend to pick up any penalties, so definitely could gain a lot of positions through that. As we've seen, people were picking up them time penalties just within 12 laps of the race, so who knows how many that could be at the end of it. But here we go, people. We've got 4 red lights, we've got 5 red lights, and the lights are out, and the main event is underway here at LSR. Lou Pasteur looks like he gets a great start there, and Pro Stevens will probably go on the attack into turn 1 as down this straight. You can get a good slipstream as we see Stead Body pulling out. We could have a 3-wide moment here into turn 1. So here we go, people. Lou Pasteur comes out on top on that one. We see a mixture of tyres moving down the grid. As we know, there's a lot of strategies you can take around Mexico, soft to hard, soft to medium. So we'll see what these boys can do. Lou Pasteur up at the front is on the hard compounder tyres, and that is Ryan Harris going for P3. He is on the mediums, which will get to temperature a lot quicker than what those hards will. So you could definitely see him putting pressure on Pro Stevens up at the front, which could create a decent gap for Lou Pasteur. But we'll move down the grid to see what's going on. Ryan McLean's in at P5 with Reg Meister battling, and so is, I'm going to call him 25 because I do not know how to pronounce his name, but number 25, he is now into P6 after going for that battle with Reg. We've got a bit of movement in the back, down to the G, and Fat Picasso having a little battle. HDL Trappy, who retired from the sprint race, has now managed to get himself up into P13, so that is good for him. Hopefully he can make moves as we move on, as Lou Pasteur, as we all know, if you're at the front of the grid on that first lap, you are taking the fastest lap, and he surely does that, and he is building a gap to the drivers in behind. Nearly a second gap already. This is going to really help him in the rest of the race if he can break that DRS to Ryan in behind, but he's going to have a tough job. As I said, on those medium compounded tyres, they do light up a lot quicker. They have a bit more grip than the hards for the first 1 or 2 laps, I would say. But if Ryan cannot get onto the back of Lou and get within that DRS, I feel that this race is already signed, sealed and delivered, and Lou just has to keep it consistent. I will say that Lou Pasteur does tend to make a little mistake every now and again, but hopefully we don't see that and we get him going across the line as a race winner for the 4th time in a row at LSR. But we'll move back to the action. Steadbody is in at P4, McLean's in at P5, Reg still hovering around in P7 with Helios just trying to get onto the back of him. He's going in a battle with Ian Beale, and there's been a bit of a moment there as Helios is moving down, so there's been a bit of contact. We've got a ghosted Ferrari there of Helios, so there's definitely been some contact with those drivers. I mean, Tony, this has been a pretty good start from the drivers here with these first 3 laps. Hopefully we don't see a time penalty picked up from any of them like we did in the sprint race.
Well, hey, never counting anything out here at LSR, I gotta tell you. The start was immaculate. No big crashes, pretty clean driving from everybody. Unfortunately, Fat Picasso having to come into the pit lane just a lap ago. We're right now halfway into lap number 3. Lou is building a massive gap already, nearly 2 seconds in 3 laps. That is just amazing. And if his teammate Ryan Harris cannot catch up to him, he is going to find himself in lots of trouble. But now we go to the point where in these sort of races Your enemies must be your temporary allies. You need to help one another with Slipstream, with DRS, to catch up to the lead. Unless Ryan Harris wants to play the team game and just block the living hell out of everybody that stands in front of him.
Yeah, I definitely see Ryan Harris playing that team game at the minute. Whether he's got the pace or not, he is doing a stellar job for Lou Pasteur, who is just building that gap, as Tony has just said. Up at the front, we've got a bit of a DRS train going all the way down to P7. This is really good to see in LSR. These DRS trains building and building, more drivers getting involved. It's just unfortunate that Ian Beale is so far back. He's got Grizzly Bean going on the attack now into turn 1. He has the DRS, and Grizzly Bean makes that move look easy with Ian Beale being on those soft compounder tyres. I thought he would have had a bit more pace and a bit more grip in the corners to maybe fight that, but Grizzly just looked too fast and under DRS now with the second dose. He's going to try and pull away, but Grizzly, if I seen that right then, Tony, that looks like he was flashing and looks like he's bled all his ERS within these 4 laps, which is never ever going to help you moving on into a race, because it is so hard. Once you get under 50% DRS, it's so hard to recharge it under a race distance. I mean, even if you've got the slipstream in behind and you've got the DRS, the ERS just will not come back. And once it's gone under that 50%, it's just so hard to regain it. But as we said, Lou Pasteur now 3.4 seconds. We've got Pro Stevens going for the move. Stead Body's trying to defend from both Ryan McLean and Seal. There's big contact. Ryan McLean nearly in the wall there. Regmeister goes past now as well. So Ryan McLean losing 2 positions there due to a bit of contact with Stead Body in sector 3 there. But Ryan Harris has got Pro Stevens all over the back of him. Pro Stevens pulls out with DRS. He gets that lead. Ryan Harris is trying to tuck in to use the slipstream, but Stead Body is going to go side by side with him into turn 1. Will they go side by side again? No, Stead Body thinks otherwise and just tucks in. He knows he's going to get that DRS again, so will he go on the attack here? He'll stay on board with Stead Body. Is he going to go for it? Ryan Harris trying to defend, and Ryan Harris defends enough to keep P3 for now, but how long can that last? Stead Body is on the harder compound of tyres in behind, and the hard tyres will go longer than those mediums. But what does help with the medium compounder tyres is being within that DRS. So if Ryan can stay where he is behind Pro Stevens as it stands, he could really, you know, he could potentially get a podium here, people. But Stead Body is showing some great pace, especially in the sprint race. He showed some stellar pace and really could have challenged for a possible P2, maybe even a P1 if he'd have got the final corner right. But we'll move back to the action. Ryan McLean has picked up a penalty, and so has Dancer the G, and we are 6 laps in, so hopefully they don't pick up any more. HDL Trappy has gained 2 positions with a few more laps. McLean retires from the race. I mean, 6 laps in, you're in a really good position, McLean. Still, you could have gained a lot of positions in this one. Safety cars in Mexico, you know, there is a good shout for a safety car, but the lad's doing really well so far in battling. As we've seen, Ryan McLean did get a bit of contact, but I don't think it was enough for him to go out the race. I feel frustration may have got the better of him there, and he has retired. So very, very unfortunate. But moving on up to Lou Pasteur again, this kid is got some stellar pace. This lad actually drives on controller, Tony.
Well, I gotta say, you know, I don't know if it's harder to drive on a controller or on a wheel, considering the assist. But either way, the pace.
He doesn't drive with any assists. He doesn't drive with any of them. He does manual gears, ABS.
You know,
traction, everything.
The thing is with this game, it's not completely realistic, so you can, you know, explore.
No, it isn't. Yeah,
some of the mechanics of the game, but still, you know, it doesn't matter who's doing it. The good thing is, the people right behind him, Harris, Stevens, Stead Body, instead of helping one another catch up to the lead, they're just fighting non-stop, and this is just downright stupidity. Why wouldn't you help each other, have a chance at the top, and just battle the whole race for just a mere P2? You know, personally, if I go on track, I don't want to be second. I want to win the race. And
yeah,
as
definitely.
I said, sometimes You need to make your enemies your temporary allies. That is how it works. And you know, seeing how the energy management
Oh, as we've
system.
got an
Ooh.
Aston Martin round there. He's in the wall. That is his wing gone. You can
Oof.
see him reversing onto the track. The virtual safety car has been deployed, so they will now be under a delta. This will help him a little bit, even though he's P14. He's good. I mean, we're in the middle of sector 2 now. I feel Dan's just had to surrender that position to him because he wouldn't been able to overtake him under those yellow flag conditions. But yeah, he's going to be able to get in the pits and not lose as much time. It'll be like, I think it's like halved, isn't it, the pit lane when you've got a virtual safety car. So even though he's going to lose out 5 seconds with having that wing changed, I feel that's what it usually averages out about by changing the wing. Around 5 seconds is just going to be better off. It's going to be a big undercut as well, I feel, around Mexico. I feel there's a big undercut that you can get. So hopefully the virtual safety car stays out until he comes out of the pits. If he doesn't, he's still going to lose out here. But that is very, very unfortunate. Just lost it on his own there. Didn't see any contact that he had with any of the other cars. But yeah, goes into the wall there, and we are now back under race conditions, and we've got Pro Stevens and Ryan Harris going side by side into turn 2, and Ryan Harris is off the track after a bit of contact. Stead Body's on the attack now. We could be going 3 wide here. Nope, Pro Stevens decides to tuck in. Ryan Harris going straight back on the attack, and he's back up into P2. What and move from Ryan Harris. Pro Stevens is off track. That looks like he needs to surrender that position back to Stead Body there. Looked like he gained a position off track. In fact, Picasso gets a 3-second time penalty on lap 8. He is at the back, so not that it's really going to matter. He can't lose any more positions than he already is.
Wow, that is just crazy. Yep. That is crazy. Very dirty set of moves there. Well, taking advantage of off-track positioning. We'll see how it goes, but yeah, they cannot afford to do that twice more because they will get themselves a penalty. We already saw 3, well 4 to be honest, because Green also got one.
Yeah.
I really do not understand McLean's position on retirement so early. Danstag is going to be another one joining them, but that is because of a crash, and the safety car is out.
Yeah, safety car is coming out. That's unfortunate for Dan to the G there. I mean, very, very unfortunate. He was doing quite well at the back there and has come into some contact. I don't know who it was with. It wasn't quite on board with him, but unfortunately he loses out in this one. And we are now under safety car conditions. Still says virtual safety car up on the screen. But once that safety car hits the track, it will be in. And I don't know whether the lads are going to jump in here, Tony. I feel as it may be a bit too early for the front runners, but being on those hard compounder tyres, I think it could force it. I think we'll definitely see Ryan Harrison on the mediums, possibly moving to the hards, but it's going to be a stretch from there on if he moves on to those hards. He's really going to have to look after the tyres if he wants to complete the race on those hard compounder tyres. It's going to be a difficult one. It's a hard one to call. A difficult decision to make now for the drivers, whether they do go in or they stay out. I really feel it's an awkward time in the race, but we'll see what the front runners do now as we'll get
everybody coming in.
Yeah, Lou past you.
Oh my God!
Oh, big slide.
Holy shit! How in the hell did it make it through? Oh my God! I guess because
Tokyo drifting there, people doing a bit of Tokyo drift.
Is it automatic when you come into the pit lane?
I don't know whether LSR do.
No, but does the game allow you to drive manually on the whole pit lane?
Yeah, you can have it where it's broadcast, where you enter the pit lane and then the game will take over and you just it does it all itself. But then you can also have where you actually do it yourself. You drive into the pit lane, you just get into. You don't have to turn into your pit box. It does that for you. You just hit. You see like a timer up on the screen. I don't know if you've ever.
So then that's why he managed to actually save the car. So basically there is a safety car out. I don't know why we're not getting the alerts. that the safety car is on track, but indeed we're under safety car conditions. And yeah, I think mostly everybody pitted. I certainly think Pro Stevens has just risked it all with this. He just loaded a soft compound. That's crazy. And indeed, if you
Mistake.
can keep us updated on the yellows, because I did see the safety car once we saw the crash in the
There we
retirement.
go. It's switched to safety car now. We're now updated
That's
to the
so
safety
weird.
car conditions. As you can't see it on Tony's screen, but it is up on my screen. We are now under safety car conditions. It has come out a bit late. I mean, nearly in sector 3. Well, I think we're in sector 3. No, nearly in sector 3, and it decides to tell me we're under safety car conditions, even though we could all see the car on the track. We all knew it was a safety car conditions. But Lou Pasture really going to be taking these medium compounder tyres, I feel, a long, long way. It's going to aid him. I think there'll still be another at least 2 laps under the safety car, maybe even just 1, depending on how long it takes these back runners to catch up to the rest of the pack. But HDL Trappy didn't pit and has now come out in P2. Now this is definitely, I feel this is definitely going to help Lou Pasture. Again, he's going to have a blocker in behind him to help him build a gap. Trappy is on old tyres. Pro Stevens is on brand new mediums. So as long as, if Pro Stevens doesn't get past Trappy into turn 1, Lou Pasture, you're just going to see him build that gap again and keep building it. So Pro Stevens needs to make the move early. He's on the softs, I feel, but I still feel Pro Stevens has made a big mistake moving onto those softs, unless he's going for a 2-stop because he knows the guys up at front might have to pit again, because it is quite early to have boxed for the medium compounder tyres. So unless Lou Pasture can work miracles and be the tyre whisperer here at Mexico, Pro Stevens could have actually called it right here.
Yeah, to be honest, picking up the soft compound this early on, very risky, but we've said it many times, and we'll say it again. Safety cars call safety cars. That's just how it goes.
Yeah.
And I think we might get a very exciting restart, and I'm sure you're going to be the one taking over it. So I cannot wait to see when this relaunches. I don't know if it's going to be this lap. I think so.
Would be late if the safety car decides
Yes.
to come. It does. It's come in this lap. So safety car is in this lap now, people. And this could really hinder Lou Pasture, because if that safety car isn't in the pit lane before you get around that final corner, you are heavily limited, throttle limited, and it can really ruin the front runner for getting a really good exit out of that final corner. So as you can see, Lou Pasture doing his very, very best to keep it quite slow. The safety car is into the pit lane now, so Lou Pasture will not get limited by the game. And as you can see, he's gone really early, and he's nearly a second in front of HDL Trappy. He's already building that gap. Pro Stevens is going to go on the attack on HDL Trappy. So is Steadbody. So Pro Stevens tucks in, so does Steadbody. Here we go into turn 1. Who's going to come out on top here? Looks like Trappy is losing positions. Ryan Harris is also going for it. Steadbody showing the respect that Harris does deserve and giving him the space. And Harris has moved up now into P3 on the soft compounder tyres. Lou Pasture will get caught by Pro Stevens being on those soft compounder tyres. He'll be able to brake that a little bit later than what Lou Pasture will be able to up at the front. But we're now going to start again. We've got a ghosted car in the background there. Who was that? That is Grizzly Bean, who was ghosted there. So a bit of contact picked up from him. His car was ghosted. Regmeister losing out there that position to Grizzly Bean. But HDL Trappy is dropping like a lead weight here down the grid. Already P5 after lap 1. So losing 3 positions. And I feel he's only going to lose more being on those older tyres, them old hard compound tyres. Grizzly Bean just needs to get a great exit around the final corner, and he could put the pressure on HDL Trappy. Pro Stevens picks up the fastest lap of the race so far, and he's definitely going to have that on those soft compounder tyres. But Tony, that was an amazing restart from Lou Pasture, building a second gap Obviously, Pro Stevens has cut into that now with those softs, but amazing safety car restart from Lou Pasture.
Yeah, he knew he had to play it early. He knew how to play his cards right. It did work this time. But if we get another one, we'll see if he'll go for the same strategy. That is the privilege of being at the top on a safety car restart. And he executed it to perfection, of course, as you said. As you mentioned, the soft compound getting some good use from Pro Stevens. But right now, if he doesn't manage to make the move already, he's just destroying the tire for nothing. And it just ain't going to work. We're a third of the way in, close to halfway point. That would be once we go into the 18th lap, 3-second penalty for Ian Beale. Here you see Stevens definitely.
That was a big corner cut from Ian Beale there, massive. That was definitely a warranted 3-second time penalty he picked up there. But as I said about HDL Trappy, he may not have any time penalties, but being on those older compounder tyres, in that lap alone, he lost 3 positions, and he's now got both the Aston Martin drivers right on the back of him. These two need to work together here to get past him.
Not even work. This does not even work.
Ooh, bit of a swerve in front of Trappy there from Anthony. I think he made a slight bit of contact with Trappy's front wheel, but both Aston Martin drivers managed to get Trappy into turn 1, and they need to work together as a team, as they are currently out of DRS range to Ian Beale, who is in P7, but will move back up the grid. Lou Pasture is maintaining that gap up at the front. Pro Stevens, as Tony brought to light there, he's using these hard soft compounder tyres to the best of his abilities, but it's just not enabling him to get past Lou Pasture. And we all know that those softs will drop off. I give them another 3 laps, and you will definitely see Lou Pasture starting to build a bit more of a gap. Pro Stevens will be lucky though that he will have the DRS into turn 1, and then after turn 2 going into turn 3 he will have that DRS to kind of help him stay in that gap. And then sector 2 is where Lou really does need to push the car and build that gap so he keeps Pro Stevens out of DRS range. But the penalties coming flying in now. We've got 5 drivers who currently have a time penalty. Is R. Harris going to go for the attack on Stead Body? He will wait for the next DRS zone. These two are now 2.6 seconds back off the lead. And as you can see, Ryan Harris is struggling a bit on those softs compared to Stead Body on the mediums. It doesn't take the tyres long to die around here at Mexico.
Another retirement.
Yeah, another retirement. Fat Picasso retires from the race. That's so unfortunate. Chris can't do that track with no setup. Yeah, very hard track to do without any setup, Chris. I would definitely agree. So learn from your mistakes, lad. Next time, make sure you put a setup on, and hopefully we'll see you complete a race. But mad respect for even going for it without a setup. At least you managed to get 15 laps of racing in. So thanks for joining us, Chris. The man who was making moves in LSR, now a part of the big dogs up at the top in LSR. So great to see that Chris moving up and getting that promotion. I think it's well deserved with the effort that he's putting in regards to the F1 side of things here at LSR. But back to the racing we go. Stead Body is going to be coming under attack from R. Harris here. R. Harris pulls out the slipstream, gets the inside line. He's got that move done easily with the DRS. As me and Tony were saying in the sprint race, DRS is very, very powerful around Mexico. The straight, you can really get a good run on the driver in front of you and really put the pressure on him, and even get the move done before turn 1, so you don't have to go side by side, as long as you get that good exit out of the final corner. But this battle up at the front is how it looked last week at Monza. Lou Pasture in the lead with Pro Stevens trying to go on the attack, but Pro Stevens will have to pit again, as we've got a caution in sector 2. Who is that dropping positions? That is Anthony in the Aston Martin. Lost the competition. Lou Pasture's picked up a 3-second time penalty up at the front. That is not going to be good for Lou. That could really affect his race, but I think he's got the safety net of knowing that Bo Stevens will have to pit again on those soft compounder tyres. But Tony, I mean, this is some really good racing that we've seen from these two lads in the past 2 weeks. Very fair battles from them both showing the respect, giving the space. Had a little bit of wheel rubbing, but you know, you get that in F1 racing, especially the sim racing. I mean, we've seen it today in the esports. Want to chuck out a big, massive congratulations to Frederick Rasmussen on obtaining his first esports title. After so long, he's been the bridesmaid and never the bride, but tonight he definitely was, and it was a well-deserved race. A lot of chaos in that final race at Abu Dhabi from the esports drivers, but a well-deserved win nonetheless for Frederick Rasmussen. So congratulations, Frederick, on finally winning your first esports title. Great race to watch, it really was. Thomas Ronard nearly came out on top, was doing really well. Threw some great moves into Sector 3, which he repeated on multiple occasions, and nobody had a defence for it at all. He was just able to pull off a late move every time into Sector 3, and nobody had the answer, but it came unstuck, had some contact with Barry Burmond and Nicholas Longue, I think no, it was Barry Burmond, sorry, and they both lost out, and yeah, Frederick Rasmussen took that race win. But back to the action here. Lou Pasteur up at the front, picking up a 3-second time penalty. As I was saying before, I feel like he does have that safety buffer, knowing that Bo Stevens will have to pit again, and those soft compounder tyres are going to die off very, very soon. Steadbody and R. Harris, though, they're in the battle of their lives. R. Harris is going to have to pit again as well, being on those softs, but he's taking the fight to Steadbody. He's under DRS now. Is he going to go for it into turn 3? No, he's not. I mean, into turn 4. Sorry, people, that is not turn 3, it's turn 4, but he just sits behind. As I said, he's going to be losing grip into the corners on those softs. The longer he goes, the more grip he's going to lose, and hopefully it doesn't cost him too much. But Reg is 2 seconds back off this battle on those medium compounder tyres. We know he's got some good pace. I mean, he wouldn't be the Division 1 champion if he didn't have that pace in hand. He's cutting into the time, but the more that R. Harris and Steadbody do go side by side up at the front, that is going to aid Reg in catching them and then getting in the DRS, and hopefully Reg can compete for a podium. But we've got a virtual safety car, as there is, I think that's Razau in the Williams, had a moment and is now brought out the virtual safety car. So I think that's how Harris is dived into the pits. Great timing from him, really, under that virtual safety car to get rid of those soft compounder tyres. He's gone on to the hards. Very wise, Dad. I mean, he started on the mediums, didn't he? So that's why he'll have to have moved on to the hard compounder tyres. So he's going to have to finish the race now on those hards. He comes out in P7 in front of Razau, and the drivers behind also taking the opportunity to pit, as we got Jorge. He is DNF from the race. I mean, boys, we need to start showing a bit more race integrity. Like, we have drivers that like sometimes, like Chris was, 50 seconds back, and if you're taking part in a league, show the respect to some, like, the owners, and and finish a race. I've done it where I've had contact and I've lost my wing, and I've been 30 seconds back, P20, and still completed a race. It just, that, I feel as if people just give up too early.
Yeah.
I mean, Jorge, let's hope there isn't a safety car, because you are going to kick yourself. I mean, Ryan McLean's probably kicking himself, as there was a safety car. He could have come back and got in this. I mean, he weren't even in a bad position, Tony. I think he was P8 when he DNF'd.
Yeah, he wasn't doing bad. Like, that's something I've actually been putting out publicly, to be very honest with you, for the last 3 seasons. I see people just give up so easily, and that's why I know I'm hated by some of the drivers in F1, because, let's be honest, I'm a little too frank at times, a little too blunt, and to say things the way I think about it. Obviously, I come from a different perspective, which is simulators. like our racing where, some of the racing standards we see here would be an illegal disqualification from any means we would race on. But of course, it's not as soon as this is a game. But yeah, man, these guys, they can show a little more. Show a little
It's
more
just race
into it.
integrity in it, Tony. That's all it is, and respect for the people that are actually allowing you to take part. I mean,
Yeah, it's not
just
like, oh,
show
my
that.
race
Just
goes
have that.
bad, and I just go because my race is not going the way I want to. That's racing. Sometimes you win, sometimes you don't.
Exactly, and I've always been taught that honesty is the best policy. So you being honest with some of the drivers, I mean, may have even helped them become a bit cleaner because they don't want to have that from hearing it from Mr. Meaner himself, telling them how it is. But I do believe that honesty is the best policy. And if you see dodgy stuff and bad racing, why can't you commentate on it? Sorry, constructive criticism. That's all that Tony is giving you. Constructive criticism. Listen to him. Like, at the end of the day, he knows his stuff. He knows what he's talking about. So if he sees you being dirty, you're being dirty. Clean it up, sort your act out, and come back the week after and prove to Tony that, you know what, Tony, you was wrong. I can complete a race and I can be clean. And it should light a fire in people. Me personally, it would. If I heard Tony going in on me because I made a dodgy mistake or a bit of a dodgy move, I would listen and I would take it on board. It's constructive criticism. The trouble with people these days is they just can't accept that little bit of constructive
Yeah.
criticism. But we've got 11 racers left on track. We did start with 16, and let's hope these 11 can put on a good show here for the drivers. So we'll move back up to the top. Lou Pasteur has built a 2.7 second gap, and now Pro Stevens is into the pits, changing. I feel he's going to go for another soft. John Barrett, no, he's gone on to the mediums. I mean, obviously they're going to last him. He's got 14 laps on them, but he's going to come out quite a distance back off Lou Pasteur and off the people up at the front. So he's not going to be able to get the DRS. Is Ryan Harris going to be able to get him, or is Pro Stevens going to be able to maintain that position? Here comes our Harris. Pro Stevens fresh out the pits on those mediums. And Pro Stevens keeps that position, luckily enough for him. As we've seen before, our Harris managed to keep him locked behind him for a good few laps and helped Lou Pasteur build a 5-second lead, which got cut down due to that safety car and brought Pro Stevens back into it.
Yeah, now there's no looking back. Huh?
Yeah, definitely no looking back. But Lou Pasteur has a 9-second gap to Steadbody. Both McLaren drivers on the podium at the minute. And if Reg can find that little bit of extra pace, he could get onto the back of Steadbody and he could take that P2 away. I mean, he only has to get within 3 seconds of Steadbody and the podium is his. Picked up a lot of podiums this season. Reg, I think this will be number 11 if he can maintain this P3 at this moment in time. I mean, P4, I'm going to say number 25. Number 25 in behind Reg does have a time penalty, so Reg really doesn't have much to fear. He just has to stay consistent and get it over the line, and he could definitely walk away with another podium here this evening, Tony. And he's had an amazing season. I bet it's been quite an honour to watch him, get them race wins and see his consistency, because he genuinely is a good driver.
Well, most certainly. And I gotta say, right now, we're at the ending stage of season 3. We've seen it all this season. We've seen a couple of amazing races at the beginning, then everything got back to not so good of rhythm when it comes to incidents. But yeah, man, either way, I'm very happy to see we still have such a high ratio on attendance. And, about the race itself, I think the race is already over. Unless we get another safety car, I don't think we're seeing any more news. But a reminder of this one, you can see the gaps are very big. You know, if this was GT3, if this was another sort of car, then 2 seconds is nothing. Or in the Formula One, where you're required to have DRS to have a chance, as has just been proven by Zill 25.
Zill. I remember that.
It's just a gap that you cannot do anything about.
Virtual safety car.
Oh, don't tell me
Now
that.
that's a full safety car.
Oh
Who's
my
caused
God.
that?
Razut.
That is Razut. He has caused the safety car. I mean, he's luckily that he's right next to the pit lane. He's spun it round there and he's moved into the pits. But I mean, this is going to help Lou, I feel. He can move on to the softs now. So can Steadbody in behind him. And they can have a good battle to the end of this race. It's just unfortunately got that free and helps Pro Stevens. I think we could definitely see Pro Stevens stay out here. But Lou Pasture, I think, is just too far down the road that he won't lose a position to Pro Stevens after pitting. So here we go with Lou Pasture. He's into the pits. There we go. Yeah. What will he move on to? He's definitely got to be the softs. It has to be.
Yeah. Right now, it is a shame for Lou because, again, he builds a big gap and it goes for nothing. But he's on the softs and he's feeling pretty damn confident, I presume. We're going to have 2 more laps. Owner of the safety car. Ryan Harris, 5 seconds for speeding in the pit lane. I cannot believe it. How can you manage to get that to happen on a safety car condition? Not good. Not good.
The McLaren team did really well on their pit stop. They did have a healthy gap in hand. And Regmeister wasn't held up in the pit lanes there, so he will come out in P4, and it really does help him now getting a podium. I feel, as you can't see it on Tony's screen, but that we are under safety car conditions. The safety car is out. Lou Pasture is with the safety car as we speak. I'm just on board with Regmeister, the Division 1 champion, and this is really going to help him now on the softs. He's going to be able to hopefully, potentially, if he can stay, I feel as if he can stay with Pro Stevens and Lou Pasture, who have had an absolutely stellar battle all race. Pro Stevens has been trying to go for it on Lou, but he's just not had the pace to really go for it. Or maybe he was just playing the patient game, knowing that he was on those soft compounded tyres. But either way, now Regmeister is right up in that fight and really can seal a podium here, as Steadbody does have that 3-second time penalty. Pro Stevens will be on the mediums, but Lou Pasture is good. As long as if Lou can get the safety car restart that he got earlier on, it's signed, sealed, and delivered for me, Tony.
Yeah, even if he doesn't get that restart, I personally think Stevens coming in at the end. I don't know if I would have done that, considering Steven only had 4 laps on the compound. I think he just shot himself in the foot with that move. And as I was saying, I don't think there's going to be too much of change. Luke clearly, and I mean clearly, has a pace advantage, and nobody has been able to stand up to him.
Yeah, definitely. Nobody. He's just, once he's got that gap, he's built it and he's made it bigger and bigger. I mean, with the soft compounded tyres, as we've seen, people really did get a good advantage against even the medium runners. So as long as Pro Stevens gets a good restart, hang on, where's Pro Stevens gone?
Yeah, he went into.
What has happened to him? He's gone all the way down to P6. He's made a mistake as Pro Stevens, and this is going to cost him heavily. He's just handed the podium to the McLaren team here.
I don't understand it. He just pitted when he pitted 3 laps ago for the mediums. He went for, if you see, let me put the tires. He went on softs. He had the mediums, and he only had the tire only had 3 laps of tire life, and man,
another another mistake that really under the strategy for Pro Stevens and going into the pits. I think he's cost himself a podium here, Tony. Definitely. I mean, he's going to be. He's got the 1 lap fresher tyres, which in this F1 game, the 1 lap fresher tyres is absolutely ridiculous. The pace difference that you have compared to the drivers in behind is absolutely ridiculous. I've seen it in many races when people move on to them fresher tyres and you do not box for fresher ones, you just fall down the grid like a lead balloon, as we've seen from HDL Trappy earlier on, who is now back in the top 10. He's in P7 currently. Can he make up any more positions in this race? I feel the safety car will go in at the end of this lap and we will get the race back underway, but HDL Trappy has come back well, currently in at P7, no penalties, so as long as he can keep it with Pro Stevens and make moves when Pro Stevens does and move through that pack, he could definitely potentially be looking at a good points scoring position here. But Team McLaren showing why they are the Constructors Champions, currently sat P2 and P3. They will swap positions if it stays as is, as Steadbody, as we brought it to light before, does have that 3-second time penalty, and he will surrender that position to Reg. Will we see him play the bit of the team game here and let Reg potentially go on the attack, knowing that Reg doesn't have that 3-second time penalty? I mean, if you're a good team player, that's definitely what you do there, Tony, innit?
Well, you know, I'm still shocked at what Stevens did. I do not understand it for a single bit. But I think you're completely right. And let's see how the restart goes, because I think this should be the last lap. We should get the notification right now.
There we go, safety car in this lap.
Well, Mr. Taz, are you ready?
I am ready, brother. So here we go with Lou Pasteur. Can he get the restart he got before? We hope that he can. As I said, he needs to let that safety car get into the pit lane, or the game will limit him going round that final corner, and he will come under heavy pressure from Steadbody and Regmeister. He needs to get a great launch here. So is he going to leave it late this time, though? Nope, he's gone. And he's gone early, and he's building that gap already. Steadbody tucking him to the slipstream, in behind him. Is he going to go on the attack in turn one? I feel Lou Pasteur may be using a little bit of ERS here, so he doesn't come under pressure into turn one. But Lou Pasteur, amazing safety car restart again, showing his quality, showing that he knows his stuff when it comes to F1, and he maintains the lead. As we've got a yellow flag in sector 1. There's been contact a bit further down. Pro Stevens is all the way down to P11 now. Pro Stevens, we said he made the mistake, and that mistake is really coming to light. It's cost him even more, and he is now down in P11 after some contact with another car. But we'll rush back up to the top of this fight. Lou Pasteur is just steadily building that gap to Steadbody in behind. Steadbody just doesn't look like he has the race pace to keep it with Lou Pasteur here. And Lou Pasteur really stretching his legs. But the same could be said for Regmeister in behind Steadbody. Reg now a second behind Steadbody. He really needs to push to get back within that DRS, or he's going to come under heavy pressure from Grizzly B, another driver who has probably had Lady Luck on his side here tonight, people. We've seen that he had contact in the beginning of the race, and now he's currently sat P4. The safety cars really have helped him. He just needs to stay within DRS, and this would be an absolutely amazing debut drive for him here at LSR, managing to pull off a P4 in the main race. Obviously, the points from the sprint race will be added up afterwards, and I don't think he gained any. So, I mean, P4 nonetheless in your debut, you have to take that one, and you have to be proud of it, especially with the drivers in this race, in the names of like Ryan Harris, Trappy, Helvius, Razout when he's on his day, Pro Stevens, Regmeister, Steadbody, Lou Pasteur, all great names within the sim racing community, and there will definitely be bigger names moving on. Lou Pasteur only 15 years old, so this kid has got many years left in F1 sim racing, and we could definitely, well, me personally, I would put money on him being in esports driver one day. I think the kid has got talent in buckets. So, and he's managed to get a 1.6, well, it was 1.6 second gap to Stead Body in behind, and Regmeister has now got into the DRS, needs to stay there so he can go on the attack of Stead Body. The position, I mean, he could still pick up a podium here, but he just needs Stead Body to try and get back within DRS range of Lou Pasteur and really help his teammate get that pole position. But we've seen it all race long from Lou Pasteur.
Oh, no.
He has, as we get Raz out, leaving the race, as Grizzly Bean picks up a 3-second time penalty. Let's just have a look at the penalty situation and we'll tell you what the lads are currently standing on. So Lou Pasteur has a 3-second time penalty, Stead Body has a 3-second time penalty, Grizzly Bean has a 3-second, Sil has a 3-second, and Ian Beale with the most, sat on 9 seconds of time penalties. Very, very unfortunate. Just needs to clean it up and try and keep it in between those white lines for the remainder of this race. If we've got 6 more laps of racing to come, and Lou Pasteur is now 2 seconds clear up at the front. Regmeister really needs to help his teammate here. Now they need to get within DRS and they nearly need to pull each other along, and they could secure Regmeister another race win here. He could get P1, but it all depends how the teamwork goes from these two and whether Lou Pasteur can continue to build that gap up at the front. But people watching along, I hope you are enjoying this racing that's coming your way here tonight at LSR. Really, really good to see. Just been unfortunate to see some of the drivers' racing integrity being called into question here this evening, taking some early showers after some contact in behind. I mean, we can kind of give Fat Picasso a bit of a pass as he didn't have a setup on, but hopefully you learn from your mistake, Chris, and really do concentrate on getting a setup on so you can really finish this as close. Stevens picks up his first 3-second time penalty there. He was on for a podium, Tony, and
Wow.
he's threw it all away, hasn't he?
Yeah, well, he threw it away, and he just did, sorry to say it, very straightforward. That was a shit move. Completely cutting the corner. My God. Man, how can you go from so well to so bad this quickly? Everything has just crumpled down. Indeed, it's an admin now. Hey, you can have a little bit of leeway. Hey, next week, Chris, you come here on the booth and I get to drive. You like that? But next week I get my rig.
Crazy.
I'm a pro esports F1 driver, of course.
So let's get Tony and let's see Tony in a race. Chris, get in the cons and let Tony take them. I'd love to see Tony in a race. It'd be an absolute honour to commentate on you as well.
You know how this started? I think you actually don't know. This started as me driving the championship, the 2 races. And then I got taken out both races in the first, not even first corner, in the straight. So, yeah, I'm like, okay, let's go to commentating.
Let's just stick to what I know.
Yeah, because it was somebody else commentating, and you know, when I saw the, I was like, okay, no, that did not make for me.
Well, Tony, you know, over at my league, if you ever want to watch a Division 1 race, we've got Division 1 coming up on Friday night. You'll see that it is very, very clean over there. I'm not saying LSR isn't, you know, maybe need to pick up the standards just a little bit, but it'd be an honour for you to maybe do a guest appearance even at R&T and be in a race as a reserve, and we'll see how you fare against our Division 1 drivers. Be an absolute honour, but you know, we could talk about that afterwards if you really want. If you do want that opportunity is on the table for you. It'd be an honour to have you as a guest driver, or even as a driver in the league. But as I said, we'll speak about that afterwards and get back onto the race now, as Regmeister has managed to get past Stead Body with the DRS and he is up into P2, but Lou Pasteur is now 4.1 seconds up the road, so Lou has that gap in hand to Regmeister. and still will take the race win, but we can't take anything away from Reg. This has been an absolutely stellar drive from himself. Lady Luck again has kind of been on his side with the safety cars, and he has managed now to pull himself up to P2, and the guy is just, for me, really good. I mean, 11 podium finishes over 16 races is not something to be frowned upon. That is an amazing achievement from Reg. And to get the title as well, as I said at the beginning, it's been an absolute honour to be able to say that Reg is a division champion again, after we left the league that he was in to create our own. Felt a bit bad on him because he just won, and I felt he could definitely go for the back-to-back, but I'm sure this one will make him smile from ear to ear, knowing that he's won another division championship. But it's been an absolutely great season from him, but I feel as if Lou Pasteur was here, there would have been a lot more of a fight up at the front, especially Pro Stevens. I mean, has Pro Stevens been here since the start of the season, Tony?
Yeah, yes.
Has he? Yeah, so he's really probably lost out to a lot of contact, I feel. I don't know, with not being so close to Reg up at the front, with Reg taking so many race wins, and the majority of the podiums. Pro Stevens has just maybe looked a bit quicker in these past couple of races, to be fair, and has just gained some good points. But yeah, it's very unfortunate for Pro Stevens, as we see Silver picking up a 3-second time penalty. He's now on 6 seconds of time penalties, so we were going to see him may even lose out to Ryan Harris. He could drop all the way down to P6. Ryan Harris just needs to keep it consistent, and Ryan Harris could gain a position. Grizzly Bean is definitely going to gain one. As I said, P4 in your debut. Absolutely brilliant achievement. But we're on the penultimate lap now, and Steadbody is just tucking in behind his teammate there into turn one. Don't feel he's going to fight this too much. I mean, why fight it when you sat on 3 seconds? Oh, Steadbody's actually P2. Sorry, people. Steadbody has managed to get Reg under DRS, but Reg will get that position back under the next lap. He will have the DRS going down the straight into turn one, and then we'll have it from turn 3 to turn 4, and will maintain that gap. And just looking inevitable here for Reg that this P2 is on the card, and it's inevitable that Lou Pasteur is going to take this race victory. He's continuously built gaps every time that we've had a restart here in the race. He's built it now to 6 seconds, people. I mean, what else can you say about this kid other than he's absolutely brilliant in an F1 car, and he's showing that he has some really stellar pace. And come next season, you could be looking at your division, I mean your season 4 champion in Division 1. But let's hope we can get a few more drivers in to LSR to help with that battle up at the top. So my Division 1 drivers, if you are watching along, Fox Blue, SLR Ham, SLR Hego, WOR Josh, all you guys, make sure you come and have a look at LSR and really bring the fight to Lou Pasteur. Who knows, you could end up taking that victory, that championship away from him. But we've got a caution in sector 1 on the final lap. There's been a bit of contact, and that is Pro Stevens out of the race. Wow, he's gone from hero to zero in this race, I feel, as Pro Stevens. Lost out massively after that safety car restart, dropped all the way to the back, and now has come under some more contact and is retired in the final lap. But I'm on board with Lou Pasteur. It has been an absolutely stellar race from him. You can hear the fireworks going on as he comes through now the final corner. And here we have it. Lou Pasteur will take the victory around Mexico here at LSR. What a race win for him. Steadbody's going to come round the final corner in P2, but Reg will get that P2 back from him. Steadbody getting P3. McLaren doing absolutely brilliant here, showing why they are the Constructors' champions and taking the podium, the final podium positions. Grizzly Bean, as I did say before, an honourable mention for him, coming across the line in P4, sorry. Great debut race from him here at LSR. Tony, this has been an absolutely brilliant race. There's been some strategies that have gone way wrong that we don't agree with. Big person to shout out there is Pro Stevens, but yeah, an amazing race here, especially from Lou Pastry.
Most definitely, and congratulations to the podium. Well, ladies and gentlemen, with this, we're going to wrap it out again. Thank you very much, Taz, for doing an incredible job at commentary. And we're going to leave
Thank
you
you very
all
much, sir.
with
Thank
the
you very much.
standings. It's a pleasure, my man. Amo FIFA. Yo también amo el FIFA, tiburón. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to leave you with the race results. We'll see you next time with some more LSR action. See you next time.
Take care, people. Good night.